So check this out. Water fuel cell, just pulsing at real slow frequency right now. Just tune all the way out, but you can see it's a fast pulse, but for a real short duration. Doesn't really matter. Just shows what I'm doing here. Anyway, two cells in series, so I've got two free terminals, and I normally experiment with connecting them in series, so that or connecting these two together so that all four tubes are in series. But we're not doing that now. So there's literally one cell in the outer tube over here and the inner tube over here are what's hooked up. This wire here is the inner side of the first cell up there. Anyway, what do we see happening on this wire? All kinds of noise. What's that? LEDs. So they're going into the decade inductor, and it's set up to about 900 millihenries, which isn't as significant. You'll see there is a slight bit of increase in the current available to the LED as I turn it up, but as I go to add a capacitor here, so I'm just going to add one leg of this 5 microfarad to the bottom side here, the side closest to the decade box, so the ground reference, if you will. And you see they got a little brighter. So now I'm going to take the other half of this and just touch it with my thumb here. You can tell they get a good bit brighter doing that. So that's interesting. This is one wire, just one wire going to these LEDs. So let's prove that. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to unhook. Can't do that. Unhook the capacitor, get that out of there. I'm going to unhook the decade box altogether, so it's unhooked. And here we just got the two bare wires. I don't need this green one either, but I can't unhook it with my hand. But anyway, look at the LEDs. They're still flashing. I'm going to unhook that one. That one's still flashing. So now we've got just that wire by itself. You can see the LED still flashing. And here's the other LED. It's just laying on the bench here. So there's no stray voltage going on until I hook it to that. So I'll turn that back on. So it's kind of weak with two, but if I touch the other end here, it gets a little bit stronger. Yeah. So just to prove it, we'll take that off. So that's our one wire. I look down and they're not lit. Touching that end, nothing's happening. So there's nothing else being hooked up here. So we're gonna hook that back up. It doesn't matter what side. I can hook it to the other side that I'm also not using. And the LED still flashes. Still get brighter when I touch it. If I touch the green side, what happens? They get dimmer. So if I'm touching like right here before it gets to them, it's still light, but it gets dimmer, so I'm absorbing some of this. I mean, it's not high voltage. We've only got an average of 10, 11 volts on the cell at a given time. So adding the extra inductance creates a bit of a storage tank. Adding the capacitance in there too helps that as well, but it still only needs one wire to send enough energy to create this up, to set this up. And it's not really related to laying on the bench either, because I could string it all the way up. You can see it's still flashing. I can't make that one out. It's still flashing. Anyway, nothing's hooked up, so I'm just holding it. So let me touch it up here in the air. You can see it get a little brighter. Same with that one. Pretty neat, huh? Check out the new scope. I found out that my 2 chokes were going bipolar, so I added blocking diode or shorting diodes in backwards mode, and that cleaned up the wave perfectly. I can pipe it out over Ethernet to my router here, so I can look at it on the big screen. Pretty neat, huh?